Good morning. This is, I don't even know what episode we're on at this point. Probably doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
This is Dr. Josie and Andy with Zero10 Podcast. And this morning we have with us Jessica and Amanda with Cottingham Insurance. And they both have been longtime friends and networking acquaintances. And so we're super excited to have them here this morning.
Yes, so much. Thank you, ladies, for joining us.
On a Monday morning.
Right.
I think it's 8 degrees out. Yeah, right. You had nothing better to do.
Something else going on today.
Right.
No one else was making me apple cider.
I made them apple cider. Right. So that's the draw. That's a one draw. And it's a nice, warm little room we have down here this morning. So
That's good.
it's nice to be here with you girls. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here. Let's get right into it.
Yeah.
Just coming over here this morning, you girls had a lot going on. we want to touch on, here's the thing. Josie and I, as business owners and as real women, I think that what we're trying to really portray to people is real life. Being a real life woman and a real life business owner with families and responsibilities and things like that. So yeah, let's get into it a little bit. Balancing out personal and work life. How do you do that?
Where do you start?
You just do the best you can. Yeah, this morning, speaking of, just to give some context to that, on my way out the door this morning, I got a call from my 10-year-old that she forgot her coat.
Yeah.
As you mentioned, it's 8 degrees out. And she had a big sweatshirt on. And so I'm like, okay, how did I not notice she didn't have a coat on? But at the same time, like, she had her snow pants and her boots and a big sweatshirt, because there was a lot going on.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I have been to the school to bring a coat to the school, feeling like the worst mom in the world because I'm bringing in my 10-year-old's coat and it's 8 degrees. And I dropped her off without it.
You're like,
I know. And I'm like, I'm sorry, here you go. Whatever. And then, as you all know, I got lost on the way here while talking to work.
Because I gave you the wrong address.
Yes, because I gave you the wrong address. But good directions then. It was a very confusing situation. But in the middle of my U-turn to get back here, my 15-year-old was calling because his head hurts bad and he wants to go home. And I'm like, call your dad. I said, I'm in Bismarck. Or I said, I'm looking for my meeting. And he said, where are you going? I said, I'm in Bismarck. Just like I told you I would be like 4 minutes before you left the house. Oh yeah. Sorry. I'll call Dad. But I think that kind of just sums up I would say I have a great husband. He's a great dad, but mom is always the first call. And I think that's pretty normal.
Well, and I wonder how many women that would listen to this morning, are on their way to work and they're the same thing. They're getting the phone calls and they're getting the things, and whether it be from children or husbands or something business wise. So that's where I think people are relating to this type of thing, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I will add before I will let you talk eventually. I just have to add that when I was at my wit's end, when Jess said, and Josie said to tell you, it's not a big deal, relax, it's fine. And I'm like, it's amazing what hearing that sometimes will do. So if anyone's looking for advice for your friends, just remember to tell them it's okay sometimes. Like, not a big deal. We're waiting patiently. We're not mad at you. Because sometimes we just put someone to that on ourselves.
Sure.
Yeah. I don't think there's a balance. I don't think it's possible. You're just throwing things in the air. I was just at a meeting. It was a very good meeting. Deb Esslinger spoke, and I took a lot away from it about juggling. It's not a balance. It's juggling. Just be sure you take care of those glass balls that can't fall. And so you have to prioritize, whether it's your family, your faith, your business at this moment, or whatever. I mean, I don't think you can balance it. There's too many things going on. Something takes all your energy one day, and then you can make up the other aspect another day, hopefully.
But how do you, I totally agree with all of that. But how do you, when Amanda says, And then I just felt like the worst mother. Okay, that's where immediately my brain goes like, but okay, so how do you stop that? That's not healthy thinking. And then it spirals into other things, right? So Dr. Josie, what do you, like, are there some tools that you can stop in the moment and not allow that way of thinking and just understand that it's life and it's messy and there's probably, again, how many other women this morning that had the same exact thought?
Absolutely.
Well, I think grace is a big thing, but, or even just recognizing that you had the thought, because so way back, and I probably still do it, but if I had that guilt of something, I stuffed my face. Like, I didn't even realize that I had the feeling, but now it's like, okay, so why did I go and grab a loaf of bread just now? Like, I am not hungry, but so I realized that there's something else. So I think just paying attention to how you actually cope with those little triggers or whatever you want to call them. But I think about, there's a book that I think it was Catherine that actually wrote the book. It was about redirection of a dog, where it's like a beep.
Yes.
I think about that all the time when it's like something weird came up. I'm like, oh, redirect. I don't care if you like have something, snap the rubber band or whatever, but you just like have to get your brain thinking differently. Breathing is a really good way to do that, whether it's you hold your breath for a while or whatever. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. I know there's all different techniques for breath work, but like just focus on it for a second, and you might be able to change your brain too.
And I do a lot of that. I mean, when you say that, like literally, I walked out of that school, I got in my car and and it's not that it instantly works, but it does. I mean, to an extent, it kind of gets you refocused. Moving on to the next thing. And I would say having, you can talk to, I mean, this room of ladies right here. I have a friend at work that's like, we share these stories and we laugh because it's funny when it's someone else, and we've all done it, and that's how I think Jess, I said one day, I said, you just love calling and asking me if I've ever done this because I'm always going to say yes. I did this and I felt bad about it, and then it makes you feel better because you are not the first to do this. But I always, friends, like, give yourself as much grace as you would give me. Mm-hmm. And so I've been trying to remind myself of that. I'm kind of floating around, like, it's always nice when you have someone to tell you that, but sometimes you just have to be the person to tell yourself that. Like, if this is Jessica, if she was in the situation I'm in right now, I'd be like, you're good. Don't worry about it. So why am I beating myself up?
Yeah, right.
Also, just listening, for being the person that listens to the other person. Like this morning when we were talking.
Yep.
We both had our tangents.
We took our turns.
And sometimes you don't need any words back.
Right.
You just need someone that's not going to judge you for what you have to say.
I had a friend say that once. I was, venting, and she's like, okay, is this a vent or are you looking for some advice? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, ooh, I actually don't know what I want right now. Both?
Neither.
Right? I don't know. Tell me to shut up. Something. I'm not sure. Whatever's in your gut. Yeah, that's probably what I need.
So, probably no solution. I just need you to not judge me right now. Let me say these words out loud. And then I had my vent, and she just kind of laughed, and then she started it on something else, and I'm like, yep, I'm good now.
Right.
Well, and no code. I mean, listen, I'm a child of the 80s, 70s, really more than 80s, Gosh, they're okay.
They are okay.
They're always okay. They're so resilient. And,
she's the third child.
Okay. Yes.
I mean, no way that would have happened to the first.
Really, she's the third child. We're like, oh, we didn't forget her at home. But her brothers are older, and with them, I'm like, you know what? They're junior high and high school. Mm-hmm. I'm like, you want to freeze? Freeze. Yeah. Learn a lesson. But sometimes I forget. I'm like, and you're in 4th grade. Like, I should probably make sure you have a coat. So.
Well, cold plunges, are the huge thing right now. So I just lived in North Dakota for a minute. I was thinking that as I was standing outside and it's blowing in my face, I'm like, okay, this is just my anti-inflammatory technique today.
This is healthy. This is healthy.
I don't need to put my face in cold water. Just step outside. I don't know. I have someone should study that if it's actually the same. I don't know.
I think it is.
I like that. It's a different perspective, right?
I do it every day.
Yeah. I'm going to think of that when I go outside. I'm like, this is good. This feels good.
Yeah. Think about how economical that is.
I know, right?
Go and step outside and freeze.
It's true.
Did it my whole childhood, Thank you. Or people with gloves.
We're hardy people up here, you know. So let's switch gears just a little bit and talk about, as women who own businesses, I'm always curious, do you set goals for yourself? Do you set daily, weekly, I don't know, probably more so like in 3 months, where do I want to be? In 3 years, where do I want to be? Do you set goals like that? And if you do you set them personally and together as business partners?
We try. We try. And I mean, even on my own, I have to refocus a lot. I have a really hard time focusing. Just, day to day, I have a hard time focusing. But on goals, I write them down. I have my purse over there, has my planner in it, and I have a planner that has all your, weekly and monthly where you want to be in 90 days and whatever. But I have to revisit it a lot.
Of course.
I'm not great at being like, this is my goal this month, and I'm going to do it. And we've done the same with the business. We'll sit down and make 30, 60, 90-day goals, or even 5-year goals, 10-year goals. We aren't great about tracking them. A lot of times it's almost more like you'll get back to them like, hey, look, we got that done. We did that.
Well, you just put it out there. I think that's a huge piece of it, right?
Exactly. And subconsciously focusing on it, probably. We know that's the direction we want to go, so that's the direction we're going. But as far as actually sitting down and okay, check mark, I did this because that's going to get me to this goal. I'm pretty terrible about that.
Yeah. Try. So am I. I do have some goals, just right beside my keyboard at work. And honest to God, they've been there for a long time, and I haven't implemented many of them. But I revisit them. I look back, and I'm like, oh, yes. I told myself I was going to manage my time better and stuff like that. And so it's on my mind. I make baby steps. I've been doing better with deadline for myself. You could call it a goal, but really more it's something I don't want to do. And it's you have until Friday to do this. And I've had 3 personal ones lately, involving children or telling them bad things and stuff like that. Yesterday I told her, I said, oh my goodness, I forgot to tell the girls that their favorite cat at their place died. Oh, and we were going up there for other ways, so I had to announce it in the car with the girls in the backseat. And I was like, okay, but there's a deadline. We can't go to her house and then have to have the meltdown there, and it's going to be more intense. And so we cried for 20 minutes and then moved on. Yeah, but
they did all right. You can tell they were sad when they got there, but they did good.
Oh man,
it was a very, very sweet barn cat. This is an outdoor cat that they would carry around hanging out of their arms and. Cat ever. But.
He was the coolest cat ever. But yeah, so I do deadlines. I have until Friday to tell someone about this, or my kids need to hear this from me, and I'm going to give myself until Saturday. So I guess you could call it goals, but I've been telling myself it's my deadlines, and I've been doing okay meeting them, except for the cat. That deadline was last Friday.
So I've been the opposite on that, because if I have something big, if I would say I have until Saturday to do it, it's all I'm going to think about until Saturday. And so do you ever I don't even know if it's a full book. Do you ever read the Eat the Frog thing? Yeah. So that's my big thing. Just eat the frog. In my planner, it says pull the weeds.
Okay.
Get rid of the hardest things to do first. And so that's usually mine. If I'm making a list for the day, I'm I don't want to do that. So I'm going to force myself to do that. I'm going to think about it.
Isn't it funny how we're all so different? We're all looking for the same goal to maybe not procrastinate, but how we get to that is just different. Yeah. Yeah, I'm probably more like you in that deadline. I'll think about it though the whole time. So maybe I should start adapting what you do.
Should probably just pull the Band-Aid off and get it done. But some of it is I have to formulate conversations, especially I find this in my personal life. Personal more even than business. Business, I feel like I can blurt out more and we just deal with things as they come. When it's my kids and I'm telling them something bad or something important or whatever, I'm I have to play this conversation out. Otherwise, I'm not going to get everything out that I want to get out, and I don't want to revisit this again.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That does make sense.
Apparently, I process it slowly sometimes.
Are you guys good at I feel like you're just mirrors of each other so much. When you're around somebody so close, and you guys are generationally close and business close, and all the aspects. do you help each other out in seeing maybe how someone needs to grow, or are you guys just cheerleaders for each other? Like, what roles do you play for each other in?
Some of all of them, honestly.
Yeah.
We're very different, but okay, this was hilarious. Yesterday, we're going through resumes. We have over 20, right?
Which is awesome. Absolutely awesome.
And both of us have kind of looked at them, but not really in depth. And you made a couple of notes, and like on 2 or 3 of them, we like had the same little note, and
like
it was
we wrote down the exact same thing and highlighted the same thing on them.
It was just weird because these were not like earth-shattering things. It was just like a word or whatever, and we're like, oh, this is kind of funny.
But we're so much alike, but we are very, very different in things. Communication, we are polar opposites.
Yeah.
I know if like I have an idea or something big, I have to plant the seed. And I'm like, let's try it. Let's try everything. Why not? Backtrack if we need to. And so, she can kind of ground me on that. But like, if I have an idea that I want her to consider, rather than come in and be like, here's all the numbers I ran and this and that and whatever, I can just say, okay, maybe this would be cool. And then I'll let it sit for a few days. And then usually by the time we revisit it, then it's more open. If I just jump into it, she's like, nope, not happening. So, we're very similar, but when you say like mirrors of each other, like we're very different too. So.
You get to a point where you're locked on something. Who sort of like, how do you has it ever happened? And then who's the like? Do you go to Wade? Do you go to your dad? Like, who's kind of maybe the
Wade
mediator
gets involved a lot, honestly. He's usually a good voice of reason. His personality is a lot more like Jess's, but he's also very good at seeing the big picture. If I can show him the numbers and show him the, he takes the emotions out of it.
Sure.
Yes.
Most men do.
Yeah. And he does. Yeah. He, I think he's kind of a mix of the two of us on that. And he doesn't though. I mean, he's my husband and I do not count on him siding with me if we're going to go into this. But he's good at coming back. He's like, okay, I talked to Jess and this is what. And I'm like, okay, I did not get that was the actual issue because she said this and that's all I heard. And he'll maybe see, what the root cause. And so I wouldn't say he's like a tiebreaker, but he definitely helps us each other better sometimes.
Yep. And he's so calm. That is something, we didn't grow up with calmness. I mean, everything just falls to the wall and, everything was really intense. Yeah. Still working through it.
Not in a bad way. They're a loving home. I mean, that sounds bad, but it was just like...
It wasn't bad at all. That's all I know.
Like, our parents worked their butts off, and we us to work hard, and you did not... Relaxing wasn't a... It's like, if you were sitting down, you probably were forgetting to do something.
Yes. Yeah.
Hear the garage door opening, and you're like, oh, jump up and go start scrubbing something.
Must be a sheets of hand to wash or something.
Right in the bathroom.
Right. So, yeah, it's,
Did we mention that you girls are sisters? I don't know if I mentioned that
maybe
in the beginning.
Not.
So,
that could be weird if not.
Well, yeah, I was just thinking, like, did we mention that? So talk about growing up in Underwood.
Yes.
And how you became business partners.
Well, growing up so I am 4 years older than Amanda. Our mom was the insurance agent at the bank of town that was a couple blocks away from us. And so we were on our own a lot. Dad worked at the plant. Mom worked at the bank. So we always joke, like, I think I was 8 or 9 when we were actually at home all day by ourselves. We said, childhood baby. We survived. We swam a lot.
She made a really good cheese dip. We ate a lot of chips and cheese dip.
SpaghettiOs. A lot of SpaghettiOs. But I think growing up in a small town was super awesome, and we had a lot of freedom, but we had a lot of responsibility. And then Mom opened the agency in 1990. And then all of a sudden you are the business owner, and that's a whole different ballgame. I just said that at a different group I was in when they asked about, did you ever picture yourself owning a business? And it was like, that is not what I wanted to do when I was younger. But it was also not off the table because it's all you knew. Yeah. But as a kid, you also see negative sides of business. You see that everyone else is participating in the event downtown and you're volunteering. Everyone else is at the street dance and you're taking tickets. And like, you were voluntold to do a lot of things. And so there I saw some negatives to owning a business too. But I guess in one part of my brain, no matter what I did, I would probably be in charge because that's all you ever do.
Well, that's what you knew.
And we were also all extremely, Mom, Dad, me, and Amanda are all very extremely competitive people. So, like, when it came to sports, school, anything, business. Yeah. I mean, then you just assume you're going to be in charge or leading in some way.
Yeah, I think we were both probably always going to be some sort of business owner. Jess talked about being a doctor for a long time, but I guarantee she would have ended up owning the practice. You know, she wasn't going to go work for someone else for very long. I always wanted to be in business. Thought about law for a long time. Thought about accounting. Ended up in business and finance, and kind of knew by mid-college that I wanted to come back to the agency. But yeah, growing up was awesome in a small town. It was fun. We'd get all our chores done. We'd have a list on the counter. We'd get all our chores done in the morning. And then we'd go wait in line for the pool to open so we could get the good corner. Our towels down, just on piano breaks.
1 o'clock, opened at 1.
Yep, we opened at 1. We were there by 12:30, 12:45, waiting.
So you guys were in town then?
Oh, yeah. We were in town, and it was kind of one of those childhoods that you look back at and you're like, it was good.
We were lucky.
It was good, yeah. Ride our bikes down to the stores, ride our bikes to the pool. My older sister was actually nice to me most of the time. Yeah. I'd hang out with her friends sometimes. I'd hold my friends around, and yeah, it was good.
See, the key is when you're the older one, you make to the younger one is hanging out with you and likes to hang out with you because then you get to do a lot more.
That's true.
Yeah.
And you don't get in trouble because she doesn't tattle on you because she wants to do it too.
Yeah.
Like you can do naughty things, you can do whatever, and as long as the little one isn't ratting you out, like
you're good. Yeah.
Yeah, we had a lot of friends that were older and younger sisters too, so it worked out well. We hung out with lots of other pairs. We had our fair amount of trouble. Like the brand new white carpet. We weren't supposed to eat or drink in the living room, but you let me have an orange pop in there. And it didn't go well, so we put a Mall Madness game on top of it.
We tried it for Christmas. I believe it was Christmas break.
Yeah.
And we have got Mall Madness for Christmas, and we just put the board game on top of the orange spot for a very long time. I had a lot of trouble for not putting it away.
Well, because it was like right in the middle of the I'm not going to do this for you. You girls need to pick up your own stuff and whatever. And you're not going to do anything else until that game's put away. And finally they caught on we were giving up a lot of other things to not put that game away.
Had a lot of trouble for that one.
They got in a lot of trouble for that one.
Orange soda's a tough one.
Yeah, especially after we sat there for a week.
It just kept getting worse.
Yeah. It was, that was not a good one.
Did you feel pressure to take over the business?
They didn't. I mean, both Amanda and I came back in the business after college. So I was 2002. When were you officially 2004? You were back because you
2004. I did night classes for the rest of college. So 2004 I was working full time.
Anyway, and then in 2007 we lost our mom. So then you were thrust in a very stressful.
Yeah, it was a very stressful way to take over the business. I didn't feel a whole lot of pressure to come into the business to begin with. It was more so, I think, once I had told them, I'm considering it. I'm getting a business and finance degree, and everything was lining up, and there were people coming offering to purchase the agency. I don't remember exactly how it went down, but it must have been a great time in insurance. People were coming left and right wanting to buy a book. And at that point, so about my sophomore year of college, it's some plans would be nice. It wasn't pushy, but I knew they wanted an answer. Yeah. And so that was...
Which is now the position you sit in now, you probably completely understand.
Totally get it. But it wasn't you have to do this either. And I didn't. I wasn't yes, I am committed, I'm coming back. I mean, I really think, because then I transferred from Concordia to University of Mary and did night classes there and worked full time. But even at that time, I had not said, I will stay here. And they didn't push too hard.
Yeah, I think they pushed me harder. But I think it's because I was the older one, and, I don't necessarily... I think that my parents knew me well enough to know that what I was thinking I wanted to do maybe wasn't really what I wanted to do. I wanted to do something in medicine, and they pushed pretty hard. I think part of it too was both of our parents did not grow up with a lot. Our mom didn't get the chance to go to college. Dad has a 1-year certificate. And so when I went to college, it was kind of like, okay, yeah, you're spending a bunch of money on college, but you could be working here and making money. So like, does this really make sense? And that kind of stuff. And two, I played basketball and was having fun and doing all like.
But for biology and chemistry degrees come in real handy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, don't say
I feel like it comes in really handy when her and I want to have a conversation.
It's an ongoing joke. She knows I'm kidding. But I think some of that, and being the oldest, you're going to.
Yeah, but it's just different. It was their first experience with the kids saying they were going to go off and do something different.
But it also highlights another difference between us is how we receive that. Like, she's the one that, the kid that's, like, uber sensitive to their parents and what they're saying and don't disappoint them. And
yes,
it was
or very different that way.
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny when you look back and we talk about even the same situation from childhood. We remember and see it totally different. Or, like, our emotions that come up from those, like,
That's awesome that you guys can be empathetic towards each other's perception, though, because that would be tough. I mean, that would be it wasn't like that. Like, it was fine. And you're like, it's fine,
right?
You know. Yeah. But yeah, being able to see that. I don't think my sister and I have that.
I think maybe even just to get older. Honest to God, because I do feel like I can appreciate more of like her opinions or her like when she explains how something went down. Like, I think I appreciate it more. I get older, and you're just like, oh yeah, I can see that side of things now.
Yeah, right. Take it a little lighter. Yeah, it's very healthy.
Don't you think that's a thing, sort of in the whole world, especially right now, is understanding that somebody else could have the same exact experience and have a completely different perspective of it. I think a lot of people aren't able to understand that, and it's weird to me because how could you not? You're a totally different person and a totally different mindset. So of course you're going to see things differently. I think that's something going on in the world right now, right?
It is. Yeah. And as I get older too, I just realize there are a lot of people who truly just have that empathetic nature. I mean, there's people who are really good people who do not walk into a room or talk to someone and think, I wonder how they feel about that. Or I bet that made them, I bet that hurt them. And that just kind of blows my mind. But like you said, we're all just very different people. And we have to remember that too. But when you are empathetic, that's a hard thing to wrap your head around. Like, you don't wonder how that made them feel?
Yeah.
Right. So how many employees do you guys have now that's a big team that you're working with, speaking of empathy.
And it is. And again, you're going to all be very different people, and we need very different people. We have 16 right now. Should be 18 within the month here. And we're looking to grow have some big opportunities coming up. So we are, and we have a lot of people in mind too. I mean, we're kind of piecing things together ahead of time. We have a couple people in mind who don't even know we have them in mind yet. So we're always thinking a ways out, and I think things will come together very nicely. I hope that by the time you guys post this, we can look back and be like, hey, that was awesome. We didn't know this was going to happen at that point, and it worked out great. So
I feel like you told me at one point some statistic about Cottingham Insurance in the state of North Dakota. Do you know what statistic I'm talking about?
Probably not.
Do you guys, so like, client-wise, or you have a lot of clients in the state of North Dakota and outwards of the state. But also, I wonder if people understand that you guys are pretty big players in the game.
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't think most people do, because we try really hard to keep our small town roots.
I was going to say,
that is a focus.
And that's good. That's good. But I think, when people think of insurance, they think of like State Farm, or they think of, some of these quote unquote big names.
But with one-person offices.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Right.
We're abnormal in that regard, that we have a big team that all works together.
Yeah.
Where if we were one of the big names you're talking about, like each one of our employees would probably have their own office and be their own person and not work together, where we're truly working together every
What's the benefit of that?
Learning from each other.
It's a no-brainer, but what's the biggest benefit?
I think learning from each other. That's what some of these opportunities we have coming up here. We're going to be purchasing another agency, and they didn't have that They were on their own. And we've always known that it's a big deal that we work together, but seeing it firsthand, you're like, there's so much potential here. But if you don't have someone to bounce that off of, or I think it's this, but am I right? Am I going about this right? Or and there's times I pick up the phone and call Jess, and I will ask her the dumbest question sometimes, something I've done for 20 years, and I'm like, I'm overthinking this. What should I do here? And you just need that person to bounce it off of.
If everyone just has their own, feels their own need within the office, whether it's personality or something they enjoy and they specialize in, and you can hand something off to someone that would do it 2 times as good as you. Or maybe you just don't, they can connect with someone else better. I do think that's something that's very hard for me to understand over the years is, that person that I can communicate with, some customer does awesome with them. Right? And so there just has to be different people.
Yep.
Well, and I'll tell you, as someone who is a client, it's great to know that if I call in and Jess is not available, I've gotten help from anyone who answers the phone.
Yep.
And I love that.
Should.
Right, because it's great, because I just know, because I'm the idiot that gets, I shouldn't talk that way about myself.
So not talk about my friend like that.
Right, but I'm the one who gets, I don't know where my insurance card is, I don't know where my registration, I don't know where anything is if I get in an accident, so I just know that I can call and you guys will send it to me in a split second. So, I mean, to me, that's huge to know that, someone in the office is always going to help me no matter what.
Thank you.
So,
and I think it goes back to that. We've been told by lots of other people outside of the agency. We've been told for 20 years that we don't structure it right.
Yes.
Because it's
really?
different.
You guys have?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. We've been told that many times that we do it wrong. You could, whatever it may be.
What's their measurement?
But, exactly. And that's where it's like, but we thrive this way.
Right.
And like you said, you can call and you get everyone's licensed in our agency. Every single person who answers that phone has an insurance license. That's very, very rare. We all, like I said, we all work together. Every person can do a little bit of everything in our office. They might not be the best one for it, but they know if they're not the best one for it, and they know who is. And I think that's why we retain employees so well too. I mean, we really do not have much turnover.
We really not say employees and clients.
And clients. Our retention rate of clients is absolutely crazy good. I know we're way above the average agency on that, but we retain employees well. But I think it's because if I hire someone to come in and work in commercial insurance, and they get going and they're like, you know what, I'm really having fun rating farms. We have room to say, okay, you go write farms then. And so people really are able to follow what they love. And we have people in the office that have multiple times, have maybe worked in multiple different areas, and it works, and that's what we want to see. We want to see them thrive. That's our number one goal, see employees thrive and like their jobs. And that's why we don't have much turnover with that. It's pretty fun when you really start digging into it and thinking about it. But in turn, that's why as a customer, you have those experiences.
For sure.
That doesn't happen overnight. So anyone who thinks that it can just be that way, you guys have put a ton of work to become these kind of leaders in your business. You tell us about what you do outside of the office to keep growing as individuals.
Yeah. So you want personal?
Whatever. I feel like it all kind of works together, doesn't it?
It does. I really try. One of my big things is I don't like to be the smartest person in the room, and I almost feel uncomfortable when I'm in that situation. And so I always feel put yourself around people that you can learn something from. I don't care what it is. Maybe it's personal, maybe it's professional. So I try to have friends like you guys. In groups, women business leaders, go to as much professional development as I can. Because I always feel when you can leave with one, when we did the upgrade one, that
was awesome.
Yes.
We're still doing that within our office. We brought the whole thing in and we're doing it. And it's such a nice review.
Maybe explain that a little bit to what that is if people don't know.
Servant leadership.
Servant-driven leadership.
Yep. And Bob Upgren did a class on it. and was it through cross training, or maybe this is a side thing,
this is
but
separate.
Bob Upgren, he started cross training ministries. They do all the sports camps and everything, and it's awesome. We've been involved with them for a long time. Kids go to the camps. I mean, they are an incredible organization. A class for servant-driven leadership specifically, and it all tied together. And it was very good. And we actually, we signed up with him, so he sends out videos, and then Tony in our office does staff meetings every other week. And so then she's been using that material to lead our staff meetings, and we dig into it deeper and each person kind of has, sometimes we have assignments from her to kind of think on things ahead of time. Sometimes we just have a good talk about it, but it's been a really good reminder that you can be a servant leader anywhere. Mm-hmm. Someone might not feel like a leader inside our business, but it's been a good reminder for everyone. I think that you can be a leader in your house, you can be a leader in your group of friends, you can be, a leader, it can be so many things. It doesn't need to be you're the boss. They're totally different things.
Mm-hmm. The fact that she brought up that Tony within our office puts the staff meetings together, that is an example of something that, I feel like it allows me to grow because I'm not in charge of the meeting. Yep. I can have lots to say in that meeting, and I usually do, but Tony puts it together. She does the research. She gives the assignment or whatever, and so then I get to participate. And I think that that's a cool thing about our office is that we try to empower different people within the office to do things that they love. Tony's a teacher. She loves teaching.
She taught for a long time before she came to the agency.
And it's so nice. I get so much out of the staff meetings now. Where before I was leading them, everyone stared at me. You didn't have as much back and forth. Now it's I just appreciate it.
It's fun. But like you said, it took a long time to get there. To say when it's your business and been through some hard times, and it's if I let go of anything, it's all going to just fall apart. So it takes, I think, our people wonderfully, and we love giving things handing things out no, you're good at that, you take it. But it took a long time to get there because it was always that fear if I don't do this, it's just going to all be gone.
Or if they leave, what happens? Yeah. Right. They're gone. It's, oh gosh, I don't even know where I'd start.
Exactly. Yeah. But, we do a lot of that. We've gone to conferences together. We do some business classes, which are fun, but honestly, we really like the personal development, I think. Yep. We went to see Rachel Holtz in Minnesota for a few days, and we had the best time ever. It was
for our kids.
Yeah.
It was so fun.
Our kids were pretty young at that point, and it was a big deal that we took 2 days and we were gone. But it was fun, and it was, you laugh, you cry, you learn, it was just, I remember going back to the hotel that first night, and we're like, our kids are so bad. It's full, I can't think of anything else, and just need to process, but it takes so much time to, little pieces at a time.
Right.
Find what speaks to you.
I think that being in a room with like-minded people, we had that conversation so many times, so have we. It's you feel different when you're in, it doesn't even, could be in the office, it could be at a conference. When you feel that everyone is kind of there with the same end goal or energy, they're excited, there's nothing that feels better than that. Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's a female thing a bit too? Or do you think males have the same feeling when they're in a room like that?
I'm going to say female only, but me.
Well, see, I'm not. I think men aren't just quick to accept it.
Oh, that's a good point.
There's just a lot of men that I actually follow for influence and advice and just clarity and whatnot. And I'm who do they hang out with? Because females, I get it. We're very community oriented humans. We do bring a lot of that to the world, right? And help men kind of get into that state too. I do think they have people, I just don't know. They have to be so conscious or cautious even of who they would share their stuff with.
It takes them longer to find that group of people. We call it an affinity peer group through Prairie Family Business. And so it's all second generation or more. We have ones much further into it, family businesses.
Oh, wow.
And, and there's quite a few. It's men and women in there. And those guys bring a lot to the table. And they get they open up too. And I don't know if that's because there's females. There's times that we're crying and everything else. And there we spill it all in that group. And, the guys maybe don't get quite as emotional as we, they don't get as emotional. And I mean, I feel like they're very vulnerable in there. I don't know if that's just because we built that connection over many, many years, or if it's because it's a mix.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Interesting.
Not sure. But I do think guys need it too.
Oh, they totally do. Yeah.
We will be airing the second part of this podcast next week as we dive further into the insight that Jessica and Amanda have, not only in business, but just life in general. We're so thankful for them and what they've shared so far. So stay tuned for part B, as it will be coming up soon. And we will catch you next time.